The long and the short of it is he came in at exactly 6 o'clock, and that was when he was armed. It looked to me like he had a baton, like a policeman carries, and he attacked the first table by the entrance door, and he was hammering at them, just hitting them. That was a couple that had a lot of severe injuries. And I was sitting in the back, and I said to my wife on the phone, there's some guy beating another guy at the front of the restaurant. And she asked me to repeat myself, and I said it again. And they were screaming. It was utter chaos. So the next thing I thought it was, perfectly honest with you, I thought it was a domestic argument, like a upset boyfriend or ex-husband, something like that. I never imagined that it would be what it is. So then he went to the second table, started doing it again to another man. So there were two empty tables, and I was in the very back table, and he came right toward me. So I put my hands up in a defensive position because I thought it was a baton, and I started bleeding after he hit me the first couple of times, which you can see. And then, as he was coming toward me, I had two options. I thought I can slide under the table, but he'll just stab me, or I can fight back. I can stand up and push myself into him before that happens. So I had, literally seconds. It wouldn't matter if I had a weapon. There is no, you have instant time to think, it's just, you gotta do or die. So I stood up and I pushed all of my body weight into him, and he fell back over the table that's right directly in front of me, and the two of us collided into the booth that's on the direct opposite side of me, and I had my hands around his neck and his mouth and his nose and his eyes, everything that I could do to try to stop him. And he was stabbing me in my arm, and then he stabbed me in my liver, which I found out later on that was the most severe injury that I had, and I just fell. So I think he went to the front of the restaurant at that point, and I went to the back of the restaurant, and I crawled into the Hanny's office back there and held the door shut with my foot because I wasn't sure if he was still in the restaurant or not. And I opened the door after several minutes, and I was crawling through the back of the kitchen and peering over the counter to see if he was still in there. And I could see the employees out front on their cell phones, and that's when I knew I could get up to them, and I waved at them, and then they opened the doors and came in and called emergency for me.
Did you believe that you were going to die?
Absolutely. The whole time. I did. Especially, he was so stone-faced. There was no reaction on his face whatsoever. He was just wailing on me. So I figured I could just sit there and let him just keep doing it to me, or I've got to get up and fight. And so when I stood up, I just used my front part of my body, and I just charged him. And that's when we tumbled over the tables. And I could tell he was startled, but everything that I did, I couldn't stop him. I just got two hands, and he had two knives, so what am I going to do? I can't do anything. It's a miracle. The whole thing is a miracle. And then I remember waking up in intensive care when they removed the tube from my throat, and the first thing I asked my wife is, will I be able to sing again? And she said yes. It's going to be so wonderful to be able to do what I've been doing this for 35 years. I don't know anything else but this. It's my whole life. I'm so excited to get back to it again. I'm one lucky guy.